So we do have breaking news right now. We have the FBI who is asking for the public's help to identify a person of interest in connection with the fatal shooting of Charlie Kirk at Utah Valley University. They have released a picture on social media, and it is a white male. He does look youngish, in his 20s. He's wearing a long-sleeve black shirt, ball cap, sunglasses, a pair of jeans, and white tennis shoes. It looks like he's maybe climbing up the stairs in a stairwell. His t-shirt has on it, it looks like American flag and then something else. I'm not clear if it's an eagle or a gun. It's not sure. But they are asking for the public's help in identifying this person. You can call 1-800-CALL-FBI or digital tips. Go to fbi.gov. Digital media, you can anyway find that information online. So that has just been posted by the FBI in Salt Lake City.
Just within the last few minutes, and
Yep.
They're actually fairly good photographs. We're lucky to have with us in studio this morning Brigham Tomco from the Deseret News, who actually interviewed Charlie Kirk not long ago. Brigham, what was the occasion that you did that? Was it in anticipation of him coming to Utah?
This was before his visit to Utah was announced. I actually found that out as I was talking to some of his staff there at his Phoenix campus, where Turning Point USA has their headquarters. And so the occasion was I had, for about 2 months, been working to get access to Charlie Kirk because of the impact they had been having among young Republican voters in the country to highlight what they were doing and what his vision was for the future.
So what did you find out from him? I mean, you posted yesterday on social media some of the comments that he made to you, and I could really relate with them. But what was it you found out from him?
What people think of when they hear the name Charlie Kirk or see one of his clips pop up on their social media feed is short, straight to the point rebuttals and debates on college campuses, often shutting down people or quote-unquote owning the libs. What surprised me in my conversations with him is that his objectives were focused on institutions and individuals. He told me that his focus isn't provoking his political opponents, it's persuading young people to actually live more conservative lifestyles. And so if you read his book or if you go to his events, his focus was on young people getting married, going to church, having children. That was the kind of activism he prized the most. And then on the theme of institutions, he wanted Turning Point to become an institution that rivaled the New York Times, Harvard, and tech companies, he told me. And so throughout the conversation, and now this seems a lot more timely, is he wanted the organization to become something that outlived any of the faces of MAGA that became an activist infrastructure for decades.
And it seems, Brigham, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that Turning Point was really a vehicle for him to go to college campuses, to go see young people, to try to get energy with the younger generation with respect to the MAGA and other similar movements, correct?
Exactly. And so the model that Turning Point USA developed over the last decade didn't really exist on the Republican side of the aisle beforehand. There are now around 2,000 college and high school chapters where they bring in conservative speakers, they register young voters, and that has around 850,000 members. And I guess the most visible piece of this is last election cycle, he visited over 60 campuses. He spent over 200 hours uploading the social media content of debates with students. And so that's what they're most known for.
His following was really ginormous. Like, his numbers were just huge. He also was controversial. Did you have an opportunity to talk to him about any of the controversy surrounding him and some of his comments?
Yeah, I did. And the way Charlie Kirk saw his mission and what he did was carrying out something he found scriptural basis for, which was boldly speaking truth regardless of the outcome, and understanding that often a consequence of speaking truth is division. In his book, he actually likened himself to Jesus Christ, saying, I came to bring a sword. And so I asked him about this, and he said that peacemaking is his goal, but part of peacemaking is not beating around the bush.
Wow.
It seems like there was quite an embrace between he and Trump, even before the election. And it started, Brigham, as long ago as when Trump was president number 45. You know what I mean? He's just a young guy, but he's a real activist. And he had this conservative bent for many years and somehow attracted MAGA and somehow attracted Trump to his movement in a way that was really persuasive.
He had a way to get people to trust him, even as an 18-year-old in 2012 when Turning Point USA started, and he was getting these Republican mega donors to support him. And in 2016, he ended up becoming close friends with Don Jr. And in 2020, heading up the Students for Trump outreach for the campaign. And so we see him being one of Trump's innermost circle, or a member of Trump's inner circle since that time, advising him on cabinet picks, even the vice presidential pick. He was one of the big voices supporting J.D. Vance.
Yeah, that's interesting. Speaking of J.D. Vance, we're hearing that he's going to come to Utah today. Do you have any insight on that?
Only that we see people that are known across the country for being MAGA spokespeople coming to Utah. Turning Point representatives, J.D. Vance and others are coming here, and it's unfortunate. It's for such a tragic thing here in the Beehive State.
Brigham, I'm looking at the TV screens behind you, and 3 out of 4 have pictures related to this incident, related to Charlie Kirk. We've had other shootings and other homicides and other things happen in our country within the last year. What was it about him that has drawn so much attention to him?
Yeah, I think 2 things. So he is one of the most visible people on social media, period. Last year, his content was viewed 15 billion times across social media platforms, and different polling shows that 2/3 of Gen Z and millennial voters came across his content, and that influenced 1/3 of them to vote for Trump, according to Signal polls. And so not only is it his influence and just his omnipresence on the internet, it's also that his mission was free speech. It was open debate. Even if he said things that were offensive or polarizing, I think what this assassination has now brought into the forefront of the public conversation is whether, as a country, that is a mission we all want to get behind. And so I think that's another reason why this is drawing so much attention. This is a moment of reckoning when it comes to free speech and just the campus political environment.
So he was 31. He was just a few weeks shy of being 32, which is half our age.
Yeah.
But was he just really good at social media, or was it his message? Like, what was it that helped him catch fire? Because there's a lot of influencers on social media, that age group. They don't have billions of views.
Mm-hmm. I think it's because he had been in this space for so long. There was a sense of authenticity, that he wasn't being opportunistic around a movement. He actually cared about reaching out directly to the youth. And the way you could see that is he didn't just jump on the trending headlines and make a career out of clickbait. He was on college campuses talking to students, like I said, for 200 hours a year. And so I think there was just a sense that he actually listened to young people and that he cared more about the movement than maybe some of the other pundits that make a career out of just stoking outrage.
Yeah.
Thanks, Brigham. That was Brigham Tomco from the Deseret News joining us this morning. And we talked about President Trump and his relationship to Charlie Kirk. And at a remembrance ceremony at the Pentagon for the 24th anniversary of the September 11th attacks, the president actually talked about Kirk.
We miss him greatly, yet I have no doubt that Charlie's voice and the courage he put into the hearts of countless people, especially young people, will live on.
And I've even heard that Trump credited him as one of the 4 or 5 people that were most responsible for him being reelected here in 2024.
Yeah. Brigham spoke to us about Charlie knowing that you could build peace, but you sometimes cause division.